Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Nandana जनरञ्जना यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जयो राधमाधवा कुञ्जबिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा सुभद्रमयी जय सुदर्शना जय राधा विनोद राधे जयो लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जयो अनंत देव लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जयो अनंत देव जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवाचार्य अष्टोत्र इस डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जगत गुरु सेवियर ऑफ द होल यूनिवर्स शील प्रभुपाद की समवेद भक्त वृंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यास ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीर्उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you for the Sunday Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, Bhismastuti, the last shloka, shloka number 42. 1, 9, 42. That's the shloka we will be looking into today. Because this meter is little different. Tam yimam gamajam sarira bhajam tam yimam gamajam sarira bhajam hirdi dishitam atmakalpitana hirdi dishitam atmakalpitana प्रतिदृशम् इव नैक तारकम् एकम् प्रतिदृशम् इव नैक तारकम् एकम् समाधिगतिस्मि विदूतभेदमोह समाधिगस्तो कथोऽस्मि विदूत भेदमोह तं ये ममगमजं शारीरभाजा हृदि दिशितम् आत्मकल्पितानां प्रतिदृशम् इव नैक दार्कम् एकाम् समाधिगतोऽस्मि विदूतभेदमोहः तं इममगमजं शारीरभाजा हृदि दिशितम् आत्मकल्पितानां प्रतिदृशम् इव नैक तारकम् एकाम् समाधिगतोऽस्मि विदूतभेदमोहः Manimanagamajan Satirabhajam Yadehirdusutam Atmakalpitanam Manimanagamajan Sarirabhajam Tadidrishtamīva naika bharatamekam Vaishnavis. Amimamagam Sarirabhajam. Please repeat after me responsibly. Tam, that personality of Godhead. Imam, now present before me. Aham, I. Ajam, the unborn. Sarira Bhajam, of the conditioned soul. Hridi, in the heart. Hridi, in the heart. This Titam, situated. Atma, the super soul. Kalpitanam, of the speculators. Prati Drisham, in every direction. Iva, like na ekada, not one. Arkam, the sun. Ekam, one only. Samadhi gata asmi. I have undergone trance in meditation. Vidota, being freed from. Veda moha, misconception of duality. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Now I can meditate with full concentration upon that one Lord Sri Krishna, now present before me, because now I have transcended the misconception of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's heart, even in the hearts of mental speculators. He is in everyone's heart. The sun may be perceived differently, but the sun is one. Purport. Lord Sri Krishna is the one absolute supreme personality of Godhead, but he has expanded himself into his multiplenary portion by his inconceivable energy. The conception of duality is due to the ignorance of his inconceivable energy. In the Srimad, in the Bhagavad Gita 9.11, the Lord says that only the foolish take him to be a mere human being. Such foolish men are not aware of his inconceivable energies. By his inconceivable energy, he is present in everyone's heart, as the sun is present before everyone all over the world. The Paramatma feature of the Lord is an expansion of his plenary portion. He expands himself as Paramatma in everyone's heart by his inconceivable energy, and he is also expand himself as the glowing effulgence of Brahma Jyoti. By expansion of his personal glow, it is stated in the Brahma Samhita that the Brahma Jyoti is his personal glow. Therefore, there is no difference between him and his personal glow, Brahma Jyoti, or his plenary portion as Paramatma. Less intelligent person who are not aware of this fact, consider Brahmajyoti and Paramatma to be different from Sri Krishna. This misconception of duality is completely removed from the mind of Bhishmadeva, and he is now satisfied that it is Lord Sri Krishna only who is in everything. This enlightenment is attained by the great Mahatmas or devotees, as it is stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.9, that Vasudeva in everything, and that there is no existence of anything without Vasudeva. Vasudeva or Lord Sri Krishna is the original supreme person as now confirmed by Mahajana. And therefore, both the neophytes and the pure devotees must try to follow in his footstep. That is the way of the devotional line. The worshipable object of Bhishmadeva is Lord Sri Krishna as Parthasarathi, and that of the gopis is the same Krishna in Vrindavana as the most attractive Shamasundara. Sometimes less intelligent scholars make a mistake and think that Krishna of Vrindavan and that of the battle of Kurukshetra are different personalities. But for Bhishma Deva, this misconception is completely removed. Even the impersonalist object of destination is Krishna as the impersonal Jyoti, and the yogi's destination of Paramatma is also Krishna. Krishna is both Brahmajyoti and localized Paramatma. But in Brahmajyoti or Paramatma, there is no Krishna or sweet relationship with Krishna. In his personal feature, Krishna is both Parthasarathi and Shyamasundara of Vrindavan. But in his impersonal feature, he is neither in the Brahmajyoti nor in the Paramatma. Great Mahatmas like Bhishmadeva realize all these different features of the Lord Sri Krishna, and therefore they worship Lord Krishna, knowing him as the original of all features. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादे पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतिशे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी भानुसुदे देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखम करोति वाचालम Pangum langayate grim yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Dinadarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat Namo Vishnu Padaya. Hare Krishna. Once again, I warm welcome to Sunday Bhagavatam. Um, as we discussed, we are doing Bhisma Stuti. This is the last shloka, I think text number 42. So I typed it wrongly. So this is the text number 42. So instead of, I will also cover 42, but I thought I will summarize it because text number 42 mainly talks about how the impersonal realization is inferior, personalized realization as we read in purport, that we can cover. But also today the theme is that more emphasis on Srila Prabhupada, comparing Bhishma Dev one side and other side is Srila Prabhupada. So both of them mastered the art of living, how to live this world. So some of the pastime from Srila Prabhupada and similarly the comparison between Bhishma. This is what we're going to cover in the another 11 shlokas from text number 30 to 42. And also today, including our verse, we will cover that. So do we know in our movement anybody is mastered any other example other than Bhishma and Srila Prabhupada? Do we know in our sampradaya who else mastered or who else had this Ichha Mrityu, or they saw Krishna face to face and left the body? Who else in the Bhagavatam? Yes, Prabhu. Huh? Sorry, I'm not able to. Kadama Karana Maharaj, Jesulnes Kadam Maharaj. Very good. From Bhagavatam. Haridas Thakur, sort of, he knew he is going to leave and Mahaprabhu is going to leave. He asked next day Mahaprabhu to come. He kept his chest, his leg face to face. He saw Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Haridas Thakur left his body. There are many people who mastered the art of living this material world. Even Madhavendra Puri, for that matter, Ishwara Puri was serving him at the deathbed. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, only reason he took sannyas from Ishwara Puri that he served his master Madhavendra Puri during the final times. So like that, there are many examples we can see in our even our the existing contemporary His Holiness Katamakarna Maharaj, many other acharyas peacefully living, remembering the Lord. So that's what the focus would be. So we can see that the shloka 32 refers like Bhishma is passing away and he started his prayers on text number 32. Both Prabhupada and Bhishma Dev, they had Ichha Mrityu. Even Prabhupada had Ichha Mrityu. I will read the shloka, then probably I will explain this meaning and little bit dwell into the meaning of this shloka. Then we will see in parallel to how Srila Prabhupada had a Ichha Mrityu. He also had many pastimes. Basically, I referred Prabhupada Leelamrita, chapter 54 and 55. All this content, whatever pastime I'm going to talk, that's from Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita, chapter 54 and 55. And for Bhishma Dev, this shloka reference, predominantly commentary by his Vishnu Chakravarti Path. That is the reference I have taken predominantly. So this is the two references for this entire session. Yiti mati rupa kalpita vitrashna Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni Svasukhamopagate Kavchit Vihartum Prakritumopayusi Yat Bhava Pravaha. So in this, Bhishma Pita is wonderfully praying. And Vishwanath Chakravarti always gives different commentary on this. So he talks about a old man dying. Bhishma Dev is about the deathbed, is going to die. Then he remembered, I have one unmarried daughter, so my wish needs to be fulfilled. I need to get married my daughter to a suitable husband. So this Upakalpita means the marriage. What is that we need to get married? Who is the daughter? That is nothing but iti mati, my mind. So Bhishmadev is comparing his mind to a daughter who needs to be get married. Okay, the next question is whom she needs to get married? Who is the suitable husband? Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni. Bhagavan, Bhagavati, that Bhagavan who is born in Satvata Kula. So Satvata is also referred to where Krishna is born. Krishna is Satvata Pati or Satvata Kula. So he's also, the Satvata means it's also referred to the Kula where Krishna is born. Pungave and Vibhumni means there is no one equal, unparalleled hero whom I want to get married, my daughter, which is my mind. Upakalpita is the marriage. Swasukam upagate kavachit vihartum prakritim. So where is that Krishna? In case he is a supreme personality of Godhead, how is he came? He said on his own, Swa Sukham, on his own, on his will, he manifested in this material world. And Prakritim Upayeshu, he created this, manifested this material world and he annihilates. Such a person, I want to give my daughter. So there could be another question asked, what is the qualification for a daughter in case our mind needs to be focused like Bhishmadev on Krishna? What is that one criteria that also Bhishmadev speaks in this shloka? Vitrishna means there is no deviation other than Krishna. My mind is always focused on Krishna. That is the daughter. Mati is the daughter, which is Vitrishna, never deviated from Krishna's thought. Vikalpita means she wants to get married. So this is the prayer's internal meaning Vishnu Chatri Thakurpad gives for this shloka, saying that Bhishma Devi is on the deathbed and he is trying to pray that he wants to focus on the Lord. And he had Icha Mrityu. And also people say Bhishma Dev was waiting for Uttarayan. Uh, Actually, there is one sense Uttarayana, it is not that one sense, sun is moving to north hemisphere. This Uttarayan means Uttarayan means once Uttara who is taken shelter of Krishna. Basically, when Ashwatthama uh, left the arrow, so Uttara was praying to Krishna to protect in his womb. So Uttarayan means one who taken shelter. So Uttara is taken shelter of Krishna. So that way he was waiting for Lord Krishna to come along with the Pandavas, and he want to see. And Krishna, we can see Arjuna was bewildered in the battlefield, and he spoke Bhagavad Gita. And after this war, now Yudhishthira Maharaj having confusion. So Krishna, for him, it's easy to speak or clarify, but still he made ensure that he want Bhishma Pita to address it. So he's bringing the entire Pandavas to in front of Bhishma. So Bhishma Dev started instructing. After that, this 11 shlokas is going to recite, and after that he would leave his body. So we can understand that Bhishma Dev was waiting for the Krishna to come, and he wants to look at him. Antakalacha Mam Smarana. So he wants to look at Krishna, then he wants to leave this body. So one time what happens, Prabhupada, if you see in his Leelamrita chapter 54, and all the devotees, Prabhupada just came from, he is not well, but he wanted to go to UK, and he was in Manor and he fell sick, and he said, let me go to India to recover. Then he came to Bombay because Bombay temple project was almost completing and he wants to, supposed to open in 2 or 3 weeks like that. But Prabhupada decided he was so weak, he stopped taking food, anything, and devotees feared anything can happen to Prabhupada. Then they all suggested, Prabhupada, why don't we go to Vrindavan? Then you stay. Yeah, then when you recoup, then you can come to Bombay for temple opening or staying in Bombay. So Prabhupada chose to come to Vrindavan, and all the devotees somehow brought him Prabhupada. Prabhupada was very skeleton. Just only bones were there, nothing else in the body. It was just bone, package of bone. That's what Prabhupada would say. And he's been Vrindavan, and all the devotees and servants, everybody was surrounded him. And Harisuri Prabhu was weeping, crying like anything because Prabhupada indicated, I don't want to stay, I want to go. Prabhupada was very clear, I'll be leaving this body. So all his disciples surrendered. They're all crying. And Prabhupada said, what is the matter? Why are you crying, Harisuri? Then, he can't speak against his master because his master is telling he wants to leave his body. How can we say, stay back? And then they all said, Tamal Krishna Maharaj was there, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and he said, people wanted to stay you, Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, your must be fantasy world. I'm not taking anything. This is just bag full of bones. I'm not eating anything. And Prabhupada stopped taking liquid as well. Not only hard food, he stopped taking any food. Like Bhishma Dev, in his body, entire blood is bleeded, and he's not fasting. Like similarly, Prabhupada also, if you see the last 10 days or 1 month, Prabhupada was not taking anything. He was just magically surviving. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, Prabhupada said, how do you think I will survive? I'm not taking anything. How do I survive? And Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, it's all in Krishna's hand. Then what happened? All the GBC member and Prabhupada said, don't disturb me. I want to hear Bhagavatam and recite. So I want to hear Kirtan. You decide what you want to do. And all the medical treatment, if they need to do it or not, what needs to be done is all GBC you decide. I don't involve me in anything like that, Prabhupada told. So the GBC, all of them had a meeting and they were all discussing what should we do. And when Tamal Krishna Maharaj previously spoke in the room, it's all in Krishna's hand, Prabhupada closed his eyes and he made this wonderful statement. After some time, he opened his eyes and said, Krishna want me to do as I like. The choice is mine. Krishna has given me full freedom. This is chapter 54, Leelamrita. So the devotees were shocked, and Prabhupada was directly talking to Krishna and said, Krishna has given free will. I can die any point of time, like what Bhishma has done. So these devotees got a clue. Now Prabhupada is, he is free will. He can die anytime. Then they're all discussing, why don't we propose Prabhupada not to leave this body? And they're all discussed and they're all decided, okay, let us go to Prabhupada. And at 3 p.m. they are meeting again in front of Prabhupada. Prabhupada again asked, what is the matter? And Kirtananda Swami was chosen to speak to Prabhupada. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj and the other Bhavananda Maharaj are trying to help him, Kirtananda Maharaj, to speak. And Kirtananda Maharaj said, if you have a free will, Krishna has given a free will, and you have chosen not to go, then please don't go. We want you to stay for some more time for preaching. Then Prabhupada said, thought about a minute, he said, okay, I will not leave now. And devotees were happy. Immediately they brought the juice and Prabhupada drank a grape juice. Then somebody gave strawberries and Prabhupada started breaking his fast and started eating it just to reciprocate. But our Prabhupada determined to leave his body, but just to momentarily to reciprocate the loving reciprocation, Prabhupada said, I will not leave. And this also happened 10 years back also. Prabhupada 67 or something like that, he was sick. Then he told, if Krishna is willing, my master is not completed the work. If you so desire Krishna, you can protect our spiritual master. So that is the message Prabhupada gave and asked his disciple to pray. But this time he was telling, don't pray for me to stay for long. I want to leave. Prabhupada was determined to go. But because of the reciprocation, Prabhupada said, I will not leave. But invariably, after some time, we see that Prabhupada leaves in the October. So this is a wonderful pastime. The parallels, we can see that how Prabhupada, like Bhishma Dev, complete charge of the situation, and he knew when to go and how the mode in which we have to go. So this is the shloka number 33. So here Bhishma Dev started describing the beauty of Sri Krishna. Tribhuvana Kama Tamala Varnam. He is having Tamala Varnam and Ravikara Gauravara Ambaram Tadane. So he is wearing a yellow color beautiful dhoti which is shining. So he started explaining beautiful Vijaya Sake. Vijaya Sake means Arjuna. Vijaya means here Arjuna's another name is Vijaya Saka. So he's telling that Vijaya Saka Parthasarathi, whom I want to meditate, who is a beautiful person in all the over the world, and he's Tamala Varnam and he's wearing the yellow dhoti. So he started describing the beauty of Lord Sri Krishna. So Prabhupada also, like if you see that when Bhishmadev was passing away, we can see that in the shloka, 6th shloka, beginning, all the sages, Parvata Muni, Narada, Damya, Vaishya, Sarvyasa, Bharadwaj, Parashurama, Narada Rishi, even Sukadeva Goswami, Ashita, so many Atri, all the devatas who are there, they knew that Vishmadev is going to pass away and he's also going to give important instruction to Yudhishthira Maharaj. There is no communication medium, but they all mentally knew. So all over the place, everybody came on the spot and they're watching this, how this Vishmadev is passing away. And some of them are remotely also watching how Prabhupada is going to leave this body. So Prabhupada also, similar thing he did. What he did is, he called his GBC members. He told, previously Prabhupada, while doing translation, he wouldn't allow anybody, only private secretaries will be there and he wouldn't allow anybody to hear what's doing it. And not anybody can go on massage Srila Prabhupada, only the trained servants only, personal servant, and the secretary, only the two peoples are mainly allowed during the translation and massage time. Prabhupada did one thing. He said, start doing Kirtan now and Srimad Bhagavatam. I don't want to do anything, you medical and all, you take care, but I don't want to go for any medical treatment, but I depend completely on the holy name and you should take a turn. And everyone to take a turn. So 1 week happened, many of them not able to continuously do it. And Prabhupada said, why there are no people are there? Why they are not doing Kirtan? I need association because he's going to die. He want to show all his disciple. Then what happened is the GBC wrote a letter to the entire ISKCON all over the world, saying that we are informing this difficult situation. Prabhupada is about to leave his body. He requested every atra to send 1 or 2 people. The job is that it is open. Anybody can go into Prabhupada's room. Anybody can massage. Anybody can chant for him. Anybody can read Srimad Bhagavatam for him. It is open. So like that, all the sages and everyone assembled here for Bhishma, and Prabhupada also allowed everyone to come and witness this. How he is teaching the important lesson of how to leave this body. How Bhishma Pitamaha, entire world he showed how I'm leaving it. Look, how I'm leaving. And Prabhupada literally did the same thing. And he invited so many people uh, and uh, and everybody was doing it. So, I would also read one beautiful letter from one Mataji wrote to Srila Prabhupada during that. She made a woolen shawl in Gita Nagari. They were keeping sheeps, and from the sheeps they have taken handover that was given to Srila Prabhupada. And she was comparing literally Prabhupada. There was a rain. Entire Devatas are crying because I feel that, this rain is like, now you are going to leave. And I feel that the Devatas are crying. And you also, like Bhishma Pitamaga, when passing away, Krishna was crying. And we are also crying. Without your support, how we will be there, we don't know. But we're going to follow your instruction. And that way we are going to be connected with you. But if possible, please stay in this world for some more time. And I'm sending this woolen chadar, which I hand created. And Prabhupada was, so the devotees that time also in Lilamrita we see comparing Srila Prabhupada to Bhishma Dev passing away, how the similar situation happened. So then we see the third shloka, mood at the time of death. What is the mood of Bhishma Dev? In this shloka is capturing in 34. In this 34, so actually the second shloka, he talked about the external beauty of Krishna. The shloka 34, Bhishma Dev started explaining the internal beauty as a Bhakta Vachala. See Krishna as a Bhakta Vachala, how he is standing before him. In shloka number 24 also we see Sadeva Devo Bhagavan. So Bhishma Dev is telling Krishna, don't move. I want to see you this 200 form. When I leave, I want to see your face. So that way he is requesting. And we all know that when parents are there, sometimes they, they may not be dressed as of the party. When they go for a party, they would have been fully dressed. But here Krishna is having all this dust in the battlefield. Um, is visualizing the Parthasarathi form, and Bhishma is telling, "Oh, Krishna is curly hair. It's all lot of dust from the hooves of the horses, and he is having disordered hairs, and he looks so beautiful." So Krishna is Bhishma is explaining that beauty. What is that mean is Krishna is for his Bhaktavatsala, for his Arjuna, is ready to do any job, and he is doing this Parthasarathi, taking care of the horses. And for Arjun, he's showing his hard labor, how he's doing it. Similarly, our parents also sometimes do hard labor, taking care of the child, cooking. Sometimes they may not be well dressed, but we still affectionately see them, see the dedication, the commitment, what they give, that we appreciate. So similarly, Bhishma Dev here, seeing the internal beauty by describing how Krishna was taking care of us, the Parthasarathi. One more question is that we can see the previous shloka that Bhishma they wanted to see 400 form. Some might question why Prabhupada wanted to see 400 form is supposed to be attached to the 200 form like that. Uh, so one is that Bhishma Pitamaga want to establish. It's not that he want to meditate on 400 form. He want to show the entire world the same Narayana is Krishna himself. Krishna is the same Lord. So by asking in front of all the sages, he can prove that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So the entire shloka you will try to till 42, you will try to establish Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. So that is one thing. Second thing is that when Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjuna, Bhishma knew that he had showed 400 form after Vishwarupa, then he showed his 200 form. Still, Bhishma had, oh, Arjuna saw, why can't I see? So it was just curious. One time he requested Bhishma, Krishna to show his 400 form. In this prayer, he says that I want to see a 400 form. Like that. So, but his heart always meditating on the 200 form of Parthasari is the favorite deity. So he's always meditating on him. So similarly, we see time at the time of death, Srila Prabhupada in the Lilamrita, we see that he's talking about the Kulashekara Alvar shloka. Krishna Tvadiya Pada Pankaja Pancharatram Advaiva me Vishatu Manasa Rajahamsaha Prana Prayana Samaye Samakapa Kapavata Pittahi. He's telling during death my throat will choke. How do I remember? The same mood Prabhupada is telling his disciple, don't leave my association. In sense, give me association. I need your association. Don't stop Kirtan. 24/7 I want Kirtan to happen, or devotee should read Srimad Bhagavatam. Only the two things is prescribed. And he want to show them how to leave this place. So for us, sometime it will be bewildering. What if the Mahajans able to remember the Lord? They can see face to face. Srila Prabhupada was translating Srimad Bhagavatam, none other than Krishna. They could able to see Krishna face to face, and they at the time of death they could live. For us, what is the option? Can we see Krishna face to face? So at least the Acharya is talking about do it now, and at the time of death, let Krishna take care. Kulashekara Alvar also telling, at the time of death, I can't remember, oh Krishna, but I will do it. In Pashuram, one of the Alvar, Periyalvar is singing, Appodeke Ippode Solli Vaiten. He's talking to Ranganatha. Ranganatha, I am chanting now. Please note it down. I will do 64 rounds today in this lifetime, but at the time of death, I will not be able to remember. But you should take care of me. You should come and remind me. So now, but I will do my chanting sadhana today perfectly. So the only hope for us is that in this lifetime, we don't know what will happen, but at least during our breath when we have, then we should chant our sadhana, do properly, so that rest of things you can give it to Krishna, because Kulashekara Alvar, Periyalvar, everybody is telling, I can't remember. So if those personalities say they can't remember, and that's a lesson for us to learn that we do it now. So one time Srila Prabhupada was talking to all the disciples, and he said, the someone born of Krishna conscious is always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Then one time one devotee asked Prabhupada, how do we remember 24/7? It is very difficult. While sleeping, how do we remember Krishna? And Prabhupada looked at him and he said, without sleeping, when you are awake, you try to remember, then you try to do it for 24, I mean, doing sleep. So it is the pure Vaishnavas, they never sleep. Bhaktivinoda Thakur slept for 1.5 hour. Srila Prabhupada slept for 1.5 hour. Namacharya Haridas Thakur, he had only half an hour. By the time he completes his Nama Japa, then he starts next day. The Acharya don't sleep. And one time Krishna was asked, "Oh Krishna, always you are glorifying Arjuna. What is so special about Arjuna?" Yeah. Then he said, "Okay, you come after 2 days." So Krishna takes that person to Arjuna while he was sleeping. Then there was Rama, Govinda, Mukunda, Krishna names was chanted. I was wondering this devotee, where is this name comes from? Then Krishna showed. So look at Arjuna. He's sleeping. While sleeping, he chants. His greatness is that even while sleeping, he can just chant his round. And my greatness is that I can sleep while chanting. Right. Uh, so that's the pure Vaishnavas at the mode of time death. We can't do that at the time of birth, but as of now, the sincere practice of sadhana, definitely Krishna would take care of at the time of death. That's a hope the Acharya has given. So moving on to the next shloka. So this shloka talks about, after explaining beauty of Shri Krishna, and Prabhupada says, I want to meditate that Parsarthi form who reduced his opponent's age into half. Literally, everybody is killed in the battlefield. Whoever saw Krishna looking at him, they all went back to Godhead. And as soon as Arjuna says, "Oh Krishna, bring the chariot in front of the army. I want to see who is there to fight." Then Krishna glances through the entire army. Then Acharya is right. As soon as Krishna saw them, their age was reduced to half. Some people might say, "Oh, they are all fearful after seeing Krishna and Arjuna. So half of them fearful. That's why their half of the life is gone." Um, uh, somebody uh, somebody say that the entire war, who has killed many people, then Barbaric, who is the grandson of Bhishma, he say, "No, it's all Krishna did. I was watching. The entire army was killed by Krishna. There is no one else." So Krishna Vishwarupa is showing every army killed, and Arjuna said, "You take the credit." So we know that Krishna is the person behind uh, delivering it, but Vishnu Chakravarti Thakurpad gives a very different meaning. What is the meaning of reducing the life into half? He says there is no birth and death. When Krishna saw, everybody got mukti. May not be to the spiritual world, but they got different type of mukti, and everybody when he has stopped their birth and death. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada, he gave this Hare Krishna movement through which he stopped this Kali, right? Onslaught of Kali Yuga was stopped because Prabhupada is the only person who can stop Kali. In this Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to overcome Maya as well as Kali, and so much attraction, allure. But Srila Prabhupada, he challenged Kali, and Prabhupada given us such a system in this ISKCON movement, the Kali cannot enter because four regulative principle is as long as followed. Srila Prabhupada books are read, and Prabhupada book distribution is happening. As long as that is happening, Kali cannot enter. There is no place. So Prabhupada is the only person, like how Krishna has protected the entire people in the war who saw Krishna, they are all died. And Bhishma is very happy because Arjuna was behind Krishna. He didn't see the Parthasarathi form. It's only Bhishma Pita was looking at him, was shooting arrow, he was releasing the form. So he was meditating this form very much than the Arjuna. So he is glorifying Krishna. Krishna, you can stop their birth and death. Like that is glorifying. And Srila Prabhupada, he is the only Acharya gave guarantee. In this lifetime, you will go back to Godhead. You catch hold of my dhoti, chant 16 rounds, follow four regulative principle. There is no other Acharya has given in this lifetime you can go back. Many of them, they say, yeah, you need to do all those things. But Srila Prabhupada is the only person, he challenged Kali Yuga, and also he gave the assurity that our cycle can be stopped. So that way we can see that Prabhupada is so merciful uh, than Krishna. In fact, Acharyas are more merciful than Krishna. Krishna says, "Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sarva." You surrender everything, then I will protect you. Acharyas, doesn't matter. You know, they will give. They're compassionate, so compassionate. They want to deliver all the fallen conditioned souls, showing mercy to each and everyone, to the fallen conditioned soul in this age. So they are more compassionate, and they're given uh, uh, this. Okay, there is one more wonderful expert from the same chapter 55 on Srila Prabhupada passing away. So there is one devotee, more than one devotee compared Prabhupada to Bhishma Deva, who gave important instruction in his last days. As Bhishma left, no pain and delivered learned and loving discourses even from his bed of arrows. And as Bhishma determined by his own will uh, the time of his departure from the world, so Srila Prabhupada spent his last days oblivious to his physical condition. So Prabhupada also did not mind his physical condition. He was focusing on Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing and chanting, and he was observed and he was fasting, and he doesn't want to take anything and he wants to leave his body. So that way Prabhupada prepared. So the next shloka 36, we see that when we see that Bhishma Deva, so here is Bhishma Dev is uh, actually telling the Arjuna's condition. Uh, then he's telling Atma Vidyaya. So how Krishna has spoken Bhagavad Gita in the battlefield when Arjuna was confused. So this shloka again is glorifying Krishna, saying that, oh Krishna, you gave the Atma Vidya to Arjun, where he was Vimukkasya Dosha Buddhaya. Dosha Buddhaya means contaminated mind. Buddhaya. Kumatum. Kumatim is not a good condition of Mati. Kumatum. So this kind of situation you spoke this Atma Vidyaya. So that Parthasarathi, I want to meditate on you. So we can see that when Bhishma Pita was lying on the bed of arrow, then Krishna made up such a way plan that Yudhishthira Maharaj is still not convinced and he has to bring it to Bhishma Pitamaha and he's asking so many questions. So Bhishma Pitamaha is talking about what is the religious duties. He's talking about Varnashrama Dharma, how Kshatriya needs to behave, Shudra needs to behave, what are the duties, how as a Raja, how do you need to protect the people, and what kind of spiritual activities one should do. Moksha Dharma, what is Moksha Dharma? Dana Dharma, charity, how one should perform charity. Bhagavata Dharma, how one should, devotees, what is the duty of a devotee? How the Bhagavata Dharma should be followed. Stri Dharma, when a wife, woman, what should she should do? So this all explained in Mahabharata. So here it's not much touched in Bhagavatam, but this is the famous discussion. It's a big chapter in Mahabharata where all these things in detail Bhishma Pita is talking about. It has been recorded. So, so similarly, we see that when Prabhupada was his deathbed, uh, Prabhupada was very practical. All his teachings were practical. There is never the time there was something impractical Prabhupada wrote in his books. Most of the time, devotees complain, oh, Prabhupada, he'll talk about, Krishna would talk about Ashtanga Yoga or he would talk about Karma Yoga. Prabhupada would at the end write, or it may be a Jnana Yoga, Prabhupada that right, glorification of Bhakti Yoga, how one should perform Bhakti Yoga. Everywhere you would talk about Bhakti Yoga. Because if you want to do Ashtanga Yoga, it's not practical. What is the fun in explaining all these different poles of exercises? It's not going to help and nobody can do it. Prabhupada was very practical, straight to the point. He'll say, oh, Bhakti if you do, then entire Bhakti contains all the yoga. So you don't need to do separately Ashtanga Yoga. All the things are within that. Mukti is standing at the door. You just do Bhakti, then you will get it everything. So Prabhupada was very practical and most of his purport we see how to practice the devotion service and you can see the entire day Mangalarti, how we are performing. Prabhupada established systematic, very practical devotion service. Prabhupada is always practical. Sometime in Vrindavan, one devotee I remember, he wants to be along with Prabhupada. He want to show, oh, Prabhupada, he want to close with Prabhupada. So multiple times he would stand. Prabhupada would go for a walk, then he would stand in front of him, then he will say Hare Krishna Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada would come back from walk, then he would say Hare Krishna Prabhupada. And Prabhupada annoyed one time, he said, why don't you do some practical devotion service? Why are you just saying Hare Krishna to me? So Prabhupada was very practical and he never allowed anybody to stay in the temple, at least do some practical devotion service. So that way, all this instruction what Bhishma Dev given to run the society properly. And Prabhupada also, it is there in his purport. There is nothing outside Srila Prabhupada purports. So Radha Gopinath Prabhu is to tell the translation and the shlokas are head on the cloud, but Srila Prabhupada purports are feet on the ground. You just by shloka you don't understand anything. But how this is applicable here? If you read Srila Prabhupada purport, then you will understand how this Arjuna's was speaking. Krishna want to meditate, then Prabhupada would explain beautifully in his purports. And there are three instructions which are relevant to all the devotees. One must follow from the Bhishmadev Stuti. One of the topmost takeaway is that Vipra, Dharma, Achyuta, Ashraya. The three things one should take care whenever there is a calamities. Bhishmadev is telling, oh Pandavas, you have gone through so much problems. You know, in this time, you know, even though your devotees, your mother has gone through, but you're all protected. That's because number one, Vipra means Vaishnava association. You always constant association with Vaishnavas. Second thing is Dharma. Whatever our spiritual practice, whatever sadhana we committed to our Guru, whatever commitment, sevas we have committed, that if we follow our Dharma of a spiritual activity, then Achyuta Ashraya. Achyuta means taking shelter of Krishna. So one is that Vaishnava association. Second is the Dharma, our spiritual practice. And they never left their spiritual practice. Any difficulties may come, Pandavas they followed. Then third aspect is uh, Achyutashraya. Taking Krishna is always, anytime Krishna is there with them. He was so close. Bhishma Dev is telling, so all the time, you know, Krishna is there. In fact, you know, Bhishma is telling, since because you are Pandavas, Krishna has come to see me. That's humility he is showing. So we can see that from the 12th shloka, Bhishmadev prayers and Bhishmadev instruction, this Vipra Dharma and Achyuta Ashraya. These three things one should take shelter. And of course, Srila Prabhupada books, it is elaborated more importance of association, how one should chant. Then of course, taking shelter of Krishna. Prabhupada talks about again and again the same topic, these three topics in his books. That way we can see that Prabhupada is almost parallel to Bhishmadev. And so then Bhishmadev, again, next shloka is talking about how Krishna is broke his promise. And for me, he broke, is not only for Arjuna, he spoke Bhagavad Gita. For me also, he broke because I promised that I will kill Arjuna. And next day, he was fighting very violently. And either I will ask Krishna to take the weapon or I will kill Arjuna. So for Bhishmadev, Krishna has broken his promise. So how wonderful it is! Krishna has broken promise for me. So similarly, we also see in Leela of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada initially said, okay, I will not break my promise. I will stay for long. But Prabhupada, back of the mind, he knew that this is his time. He want to go. Even though Krishna had given a free will, the acharyas don't use the free will. He said, whatever Krishna you want me to do, I will do it. And they are ready to surrender to Krishna. This shows the surrender. Krishna has given a free hand to Srila Prabhupada. You come whenever you want, whatever you think, right? I don't disturb you. But Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna, even though I have a free will, I'll follow you what you want to say. So then Prabhupada stopped taking all the food and drink. He had postponed the passing away to exchange loving disciple for 1 or 2 days, but again he would start not drinking, eating, and he would show how he is passing away from this material world. So we have another 38, another 4 shlokas. Let me quickly complete in 10 minutes, then we can discuss more, meditate on this pastime. So after this explaining the beautiful form of Krishna, Parsabi, who broke his promise. So Bhishma Pita is looking at, oh, I've been shooting arrow. The blood is coming out of Krishna's body. And no, he's taken, wow, I mean, he's taken weapon to kill me. I'm readily take it. So Bhishma Pita was so happy and he was welcoming Krishna to kill him. And Acharya say that, what is this? Krishna has been pierced with blood. Krishna is Sachidananda Vigraha. There is no blood in his body. Then one might say, oh, in Bhagavatam it is written, blood is coming from Krishna's body. So this is just to enhance the pastime. Krishna is made blood to come. Otherwise, is Sachidananda Vigraha. There is no perspiration like us. There is no blood coming out as there is no bad smell coming out of our body. So Krishna is a complete Sachidananda Vigraha. But to have a loving exchange, reciprocation with Bhishma, when he shoots his arrow, it would appear as if it piercing and it as if it would bleed. And Bhishma Devi is releasing all this beautiful form and is glorifying. So, so Prabhupada refused to take regular treatment. He said, I don't want to consult any doctor. Two things I want to take shelter. One is the Kirtana and Bhagavatam. These are the two things you please arrange 24/7. I want somebody to Kirtan and recite Srimad Bhagavatam. I don't want anything else. Rest you focus. What do you want to do? Management of ISKCON. All the properties been handed over. He was trying to create another another I don't know, another group in ISKCON, so that the properties of the Bengal, they want to give it to one one group where so that they can how PPT is managing books. You want to manage the properties of the historical places of Kolkata into one more group, and all those things you decide. Don't disturb me. Just I want to focus on Kirtan and Bhagavatam. So Srila Prabhupada taken complete shelter of Kirtan and Bhagavatam at the time of death. Nothing else. How Bhishma Pita is releasing, Krishna is shooting the arrow, the paths are the form. So Prabhupada also started meditating on Bhagavatam and only Kirtana. Uh, so many times the doctors came, they were looking at how Prabhupada is surviving. They really don't know how Prabhupada is not eaten for so many days, is not drank even liquid, how he was sustaining the bones and the body. Nobody knew. Doctor were surprised. Only Kirtana and Bhagavatam, while at the same time sustaining a willingness to live. He emphasized with his disciple anxiety and patiently explained the puzzling situation they were in. He wanted their care and he allowed them to try and treat him, knowing that it was bringing them more and more into surrender of love. But gradually it became more clear that Krishna's will was indicating Prabhupada's to leave. So Prabhupada was ready to leave, even though he's allowing his disciple to do some seva, whatever they think best for him. But Prabhupada was constantly focusing on Kirtan and Bhagavatam. So we can see that again, Bhishma Dev is glorifying Krishna. Oh, Krishna, you protected your friend Arjuna from all the calamities. One time, what happens? We know this pastime of Karna. Karna is having one special weapon to kill Arjuna, that Nahastra. If Nahastra is done, there is no other Astra where Arjuna can be protected. So he shoots him at the neck level. Krishna, what he does immediately, he presses the rath or he makes the horses to bend so that it goes to is above his head. So Krishna is always anxiety. Arjun would suddenly would promise, tomorrow I will kill that person, and if not, I will die. Krishna will have anxiety. Arjuna was sleeping nicely. And Krishna woke up, hey, Arjuna, why are you sleeping? You gave the promise. Now I have to worry about your life. Not you're not following. You will go and die. Tomorrow, if you're not going to kill Jayadratha's son, you will put fire and you will die. I am anxiety. Krishna is having so much anxiety. When Haridas Thakur was beaten, he was saying, oh Krishna, please forgive them. And Krishna is having, so much anxiety. Why this Sudarshan Chakra is not going? Sudarshan Chakra is telling, you are told great devotees are greater than you, and your great devotee is telling not to harm anybody. So what should I do? You figure it out. And Krishna is an anxiety. So he had to put his back. Sudarshan is not listening. He is not able to stop Haridas being beaten. So he went and protected. So the Bhaktavatsala, so he's glorifying Krishna, Bhishma Dev is remembering like that. So Prabhupada also protected this society very well. Many of the time we seen whenever there is a great personality leaves the mud under will be chaos and it will not sustain. But this is the only institution where Prabhupada has clearly defined the GBC. He created so many societies for different departments and for protecting it. He has done it very beautifully. Even after his departure, it is growing, growing, growing. We have 700, 800 now temples. When Prabhupada was there, only 108. And systematically it is progressing. And Prabhupada said there is no outsider can break ISKCON. So only insider, anything needs to happen to ISKCON, that's only insider. So please cooperate among themselves. He's given only one instruction. If this instruction is followed, nobody else, any kind of person outside, either Kali or whoever it is, they cannot break ISKCON. The only factor can break ISKCON is that we don't cooperate each other. We don't do that. Prabhupada, he told it will break. So Prabhupada made such a way that there is no external force can do anything about it. Now also recently we see that some politicians, they try to unnecessarily blaspheme the ISKCON nowadays, saying that they're supporting particular party and things like that. It's becoming Kali was so dirty, but as long as we cooperate, work together, there is no external force. Any politician cannot do anything with ISKCON. It's only the devotee among the quarrel, they have to split. That's the only way it can split, otherwise ISKCON will not split. And Prabhupada is very defined, very genius GBC created, wonderfully set up everything. This genius you can see only in ISKCON because many mutt we have seen as soon as even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur went, the mutt is on fire. He is told to Prabhupada, see, then They everybody fought. They went to Gaudiya Mutt, went to the court. Case was going on. This is my mutt. This is my. It was chaos. So, but Prabhupada's look at it when he left ISKCON, and look at his holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj and see his video. Beautiful. How ISKCON. They all follow Srila Prabhupada. He's everything connected to Prabhupada. He said, remain in ISKCON. Bhakti Charu Maharaj, remain in ISKCON. Please cooperate. So they just follow whatever Srila Prabhupada says. See, after Bhishma Pita Maha's instruction, the Pandavas were glorious. They were ruling this planet. Similarly, they all listened to Srila Prabhupada. These acharyas who were Srila Prabhupada disciple, they are all just listen to Srila Prabhupada. That's why they're glorious. Anything they do, the project will multifold, it will grow because they have the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And exactly they follow instruction of Prabhupada, cooperate each other. They cooperate each other. They ensure that entire community is sticking to this, not deviating, saying that I will start my own. That independence is not there because Prabhupada told ISKCON, as long as everyone is in the ISKCON, it will not break. So the acharyas, you see how beautifully they're following. So that protection is there as long as we are all cooperate each other. Now, last two shlokas are very, very wonderful. Any person, any personality, they always glorify gopis because they all want to follow the footsteps of gopis. So let it be Uddhava, let it be Bhishma Dev, Pandavas, everybody, beautiful. Like, even the Mathura, Sarvinda, and the Dwaraka Vasis, they want to see what is their specialty about Radharani. What is Radharani all about? What is this Gopi's love all about? So Mahaprabhu is always talking about it wonderfully. Mahaprabhu mood is that Ashlishyava Padaratam Pinastuma Marma Madam Karutua Yata Tata Vidatato Lampato Mat Prana Nadastu Sayena. Do whatever you want, Krishna, I am yours. Like that, the gopis in the Vrajadam, they came to the rasa dance. Krishna suddenly disappeared, and they said, Krishna, whatever you want to do, but we always worship you. We meditate on your pastime. So at the last moment, he's glorifying the Gopa Vadvas, Bhishma Pitamaga. I want to follow their footstep. The same Krishna. There is no difference between Parthasarathi, Prabhupada writes in the purport, Parthasarathi Krishna or the Goloka Vrindavan Krishna. So I want to surrender. So Srila Prabhupada also want to follow the footsteps of gopis, and he is given so much literature and mood of surrender. Even though he had a promise from Krishna that you can choose your day when you want to live, Prabhupada said, no, I will surrender to your free will of you, Krishna. Whatever you happens, whatever you say, I will follow it. Even though he had a free hand, but he always ensured that whatever Krishna's mode, whatever Krishna's wanted it, that's what Gopi did. So Prabhupada also did. So the last but one, the shloka about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada. So then Bhishma Pitamaga again glorifies Krishna. He is establishing to everyone Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Yudhishthira Maharaj did Rajsuyagya, and he was worshipped by every personalities. So he's again establishing the supremacy of Lord Krishna here. Oh, that form, Krishna, I want you to meditate. So Bhishma Pitamaga is remembering all the pastimes he had with Pandavas, how Krishna came, especially Parthasarathi form. And when Yudhishthira did Rajsuyagya, he remembered how Krishna was worshipped by everyone. So, so the devotees, however, meditate upon the Lord's factual form and pastimes, and therefore the Lord is easily approached by devotees. This is stated in Bhagavad Gita. So the devotees also always meditate on the personal form rather than the impersonal or the other Brahmajyoti aspect of it. So coming to the today's shloka, the final test, how Srila Prabhupada left, translating Srimad Bhagavatam, similarly Bhishma Pitamaha, after glorifying in this words Sri Krishna, then he just passed away from this material world. So one final lesson I want to talk about Srila Prabhupada glories, then we can wind up. The aspect of humility at the time of death, this is something unparalleled in history of Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was not taking anything. He was fasting. Suddenly, his sister Bhavadarani came, Vishima. And he said, I want to cook kachori for Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, okay. And everybody was shocked. Oh, you are not eating Prabhupada. Your bone, skeleton, you can't even digest juice. How can you take? He said, she is a pure Vaishnava. whatever she cooks, I will take. And they were shocked. And that time, Prabhupada humbly to all his disciples, he said, please forgive my offenses. I am little become puffed up because I've done so much. And Krishna gave me a punishment of giving this body. Now I can't do anything about it. I was little puffed up because my opulence and success. He said, now God has shattered that pride. If you don't have your body, what is there to be puffed up about? So he is so humble, going and telling his devotees, and Bhakti Charu Maharaj and other devotees, they were devastated. Prabhupada, you can never do offenses. Why are you asking for offenses forgiveness? How can you do? You are doing as per Krishna's instruction. There is never way you can do any offenses. But sometime I would speak rascal. Sometime I would use heavy words, temperament. Please forgive me whatever I have done. Look at the Vaishnava culture. Srila Prabhupada is telling even to his disciple, is asking forgiveness. The juniors whom Prabhupada taught them everything, right from cooking to dressing to everything. He give food, shelter, everything, Krishna conscious. But to those devotees, Prabhupada is telling, please forgive me. Then after this is further more, and he called all his god brothers. Once all his god brothers came, Puri Maharaj and other people, Prabhupada again requested, sorry, I've been proud because of my opulence and success. Please forgive me. And Puri Maharaj and everybody started crying. Prabhupada, you can never do any mistake. You never committed any offense. You all did. You are the only person taken to bhakti to the abroad, and so many people are benefited. How can you do offenses? No, no, still please forgive me. And even if you do Vaishnava Aparadha, is the critical aspect of our bhakti. If you do Vaishnava Aparadha, any other Aparadha, there is a prayachita, or you can try to rectify it. But Vaishnava Aparadha is something you have to go and beg forgiveness to the Vaishnava. There is no alternate. So Prabhupada is exemplifying this final test where is showing the utmost humility to the equals, to the peers, to the superiors, whoever it is. Prabhupada was asking complete forgiveness, which unparalleled. Uh, and Prabhupada then he translates Srimad Bhagavatam and passes away. 9:52 now. So I would stop here to reflect or correct anything on these verses which I have done. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, I'm not expert. I will take the devotees' help here because this all theoretical knowledge, Bhishma Dev Stuti is very high. That's why I chose Prabhupada because I can able to relate. But I will try to attempt. If not, I will defer to the senior Vaishnavas.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the very nice class. So you mentioned that Prabhupada was very practical in his teaching, and he gave three important instructions. Could you please, go in some detail about those three instructions?
Many devotees they will ask Bhagavad Gita. Prabhu, do you have small version only? I want to read Gita, only the shlokas. Then translation. By reading translation, Krishna will talk about, for example, Karma Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. You go and do Ashtanga Yoga, how you have to half close your eyes, how you go to put a deer skin. So what you will understand from this translation? You don't understand. We can't do it. But Prabhupada, if you read his purport, you will directly connect to the Bhakti Yoga. And he'll say how to do chanting, how to do, if you all do this, any of Ashtanga Yoga is not required. So Prabhupada is very practical, and you would directly go to the Bhakti rather than beating around. If some other acharya or some other person, what would have done? You would have gone detail into how to do Ashtanga Yoga, how to do pranayama, how to dharana, all those things. They would have gone very detail. Anyhow, you can utilize it. What is so big deal about explaining in detail when you can follow it in Kali Yuga? In Varnashrama also, Devi Varnashram, it's very difficult to follow. So Prabhupada say at least if you are in, let's say you are in Vanaprastha, then you go and do service in the temple, involve in more preaching. Is so practical, Prabhupada. And he never gave it is something, no, Vanaprastha at 50-year age, okay, you happy birthday, you live, everything, go to the forest. Prabhupada never said that. And he said, Vanaprastha means it's not retirement life, it's not retiring from spiritual life. You need to be very active. Then go, you live, reduce your food requirement, reduce your bodily necessities, and go and preach, travel around, and preach. Then brahmacharya ashram. It's practical not go to the Gurukul and sit in the forest. It's not practical. Prabhupada never said that. But he tell how they can do sadhya and they can memorize the shloka, preaching. He given a package for the they can live in the temple. They can't go and live in the family life, but they can very much live in the temple for brahmacharis and sannyas, how to travel. Prabhupada was very practical. He never said, go to Vrindavan, all of you tomorrow 64 rounds. Nobody is doing anything else. Prabhupada said, you can do that unless you have purified yourself. You don't have anything, then you do it. Otherwise, go and preach. Even for the sannyasis, he never recommended them to go and sit in Vrindavan, Radhakund, Shamkund and chant. Prabhupada was practical. So that way, that will come, its ecstasy will come in the purport. It will not come in the translation or in the sloka. That is just context. But unless you're going to reach Srila Prabhupada purport, you will not understand anything. And his feet on the ground. Otherwise, it's head on the cloud. You know everything. Bhagavad Gita, but how do you applicable in the practical life? Zero. Unless you reach Srila Prabhupada purport, nobody else. You can't apply it in your life. I don't know. Somebody forwarded it. It is not authentic. I'm not verified the source. Even the Saddam Hussein, he was hanged. Before that, he asked, what is the last wish? And everybody thought, okay, you'll ask for Quran. And he said, I need Bhagavad Gita. And he read Bhagavad Gita and he hanged. Then after that, he was hanged. Everybody knew it. And he read Srila Prabhupada as it is, by the way. So that's what it says. I don't know, but it came from one of his right source. So that way, even the other community people know what is the value of. He said, I want to die as a Hindu. I know the value of Bhagavad Gita. Everybody appreciates, they know, but that only Srila Prabhupada purport translated. Somebody can transform, that's only Srila Prabhupada purport, not that shloka and translation. There are so many people read it, but they don't get transformed. But anybody takes as it is a book, a time bomb. He will become guaranteed a bhakta because he's reading the purport of Srila Prabhupada. That's why it's practical. The practicality can be seen. Who are read Srila Prabhupada book, they must become devotee. They tell me one person who read his book and purport and not become a devotee. Maybe it's a little late, but he will become devotee. There is nobody can escape from Srila Prabhupada book. So potent. Anybody touching Srila Prabhupada book, they have to become devotee. There is no escape. That's the practicality of Srila Prabhupada. Three important instruction is, one is that Vaishnava association, always do your spiritual activities, dharma, then the Achyuta, Ashraya, take shelter of Krishna all the time. Swarnagari Prabhu, you want to add something?
Prabhuji, I don't have the right understanding towards this, but why did Prabhupada not complete his translation of Srimad Bhagavatam till 10th canto? He did, right?
Yeah.
What might be the reason?
Prabhupada tried, and in between Bhagavatam he stopped. Oh, Chaitanya Charitamrita, if I don't give, who will Bengali will do it? Let me do it. And Prabhupada knew there are scholarly people, they can translate remaining, but it was call of the Krishna, even though he has given a free will. And exactly the same 55th chapter, the devotee is putting argument to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, you have not completed Bhagavatam, that's why you should not leave. Prabhupada thought about it, yes, I have not completed Bhagavatam, that's a good proposal, but I want to leave because Krishnas want to do it. So Krishna has a higher priority in other places where you have to preach. So Prabhupada has to rush, and he said one of the conversation, Prabhupada, where will you go next? Prabhupada said, I'm thinking to go to Patalok. There are a lot of people are suffering. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur looked at the moon. He said, a lot of sense gratification happening. We should go to the moon and preach. The acharyas, they are on different plane, different platform. We can't even understand. But we will say, Prabhu, I'll go to JP Nagar and preach. But they think about different planetary system. We can't understand. Yes, Swarnari.
Just to add, once one Srila Prabhupada disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a pure devotee, why didn't he convert the whole world to Krishna consciousness? And Prabhupada replied, he left some service for us.
Yes.
The same way we can think, Prabhupada could have translated everything, but he left some service for his disciples.
They asked why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not only in India, he would have done it. Said my Guru Maharaj is capable of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta are capable of preaching the entire world. He left to me to take care of how Krishna has killed everyone. He said, Arjuna, take the glories, all the credit to you. Similarly, he allowed us, and he also, Prabhupada also left the legacy to preach, expand, and it's just that we need to take an initiative, and Prabhupada mercy is always there. So Prabhupada Leela too is still continuing. As long as you go and preach, you are with Prabhupada, associating with Prabhupada, book distribution, preaching. So Prabhupada will be always be there to associate. One important instruction is never leave ISKCON. Come whatever difficulties you might have, never leave ISKCON. That's a suicide, a spiritual suicide. You will not be able to sustain bhakti. Very difficult.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Regarding this offenses, so like sometimes we see that like because by hearing the practical things, like we see that okay sadhana is going down or something. Then if you like think of, then we understand like that we might have done some offenses because of which like now my sadhana is going down, and we don't remember like whom did we offend at these cases. So how do we like what to do in that case, and how to avoid repeating the offense?
You're
Offenses.
talking about Vaishnava Aparadha
Yes,
or
Prabhupada.
in general?
Vaishnava Aparadha.
There is no way you have to ask for apologies. There is no way. You don't know anybody what you have done. Sir, Vaishnavas, if knowingly you have done, you should ask. There is no other option. Krishna will not give any concession for Vaishnava Aparadha. If you know already done something you knew, then you have to go and beg forgiveness. Repeatedly you're doing Prabhu, but still that Prabhu is not forgiving me. What should I do? Then it is left to Krishna and him. But you should make endeavor sincere and you should not repeat that again. And serve Vaishnavas if you don't know whom you are appointed. Serve nicely Vaishnava, especially Prasadam from services, and pray to repent to Krishna saying that I don't know, please help me out. And talk to your guru and council members, and they will be able to tell you better option. And chanting is mainly for other aparadhas, nama aparadha, seva aparadha, any other aparadhas you do, that can be reduced by simply focusing on quality chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama. If you take shelter of holy name can remove all other offenses except Vaishnava aparadha. So
Thank you,
chanting
bro.
and seeking, serving Vaishnavas in the mood of repentance, I don't know. I would have done not to do. Next, you should not be doing it. If you're not doing it, you're repenting for the old one. You don't know who else you have done. No problem. Krishna will forgive you.
Thank you, bro.
And also, you can go to Mayapur. There is one place where Vaishnava Pradas are forgiven. So you can go to Yatra, pray to them. Huh? Follow it. It's the only place I know from reference where offenses are forgiven. That's another practical tips. Go and beg in Koladeep. Their offenses are forgiven. Oh, it's already time, 5 minutes more. Sorry, I've taken time. पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो.
Hare Krishna. Request all devotees to assemble in front of the altar. All announcements will be made there only. ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಕ್ತಾದಿಗಳ ವಿನಂತಿ ಅಲ್ಟರ್ ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಅಸೆಂಬಲ್ ಆಗೋಣ, ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲಾಗ್ತದೆ.
So can I end this? End the Zoom?